Welcome back, everyone, to VCT LCQ here as Cloud9 managed to pick up a pivotal Map 1 win and looking very, very good in the process as they get ready to take on Pearl. You can see C9 all huddling around Coach MCE as they go over what the game plan is going to be for that one, of course, and we're curious to see how this is going to unfold as well. A lot of questions, but before we get into that, let's reflect on what we just saw. Golden Boy here alongside with the guards Val. We also have Mimi as well as Sean Gares here. And, well, Sean, let's start off with you first here and talk about that map, because it really just felt like at a certain point, it just looked like Cloud9 got really comfortable, and then they ran away with it.
Yeah, there was a point in the game where I thought Leviatán stood like a really good chance, right?
Yes.
They actually had so many First Bloods going their way, but they could not convert them. That was the true problem here. They got 7 out of 13 conversions on those First Bloods. Meanwhile, Cloud9 converted all 7 of their First Bloods into round wins. So just playing from the 5-on-4, I think, is who won this game.
And for Cloud9, they went back to what made them good on Lotus before, even with this new composition. I think despite the change, we still saw LEV being super proactive on that race, finding these great rotation timings for C9 to play these really fast flood retakes. They were super punishing against Leviatán. And on top of that, for this squad as well, they started off on a bang. Both of these pistol rounds got picked up by them. They win the bonus in the first half, and it really seems like Cloud9 is getting back to their form from the regular season and playoffs of Americas, where their thing was, hey, every map they're winning the pistol, they're going up 3 rounds. They seem unstoppable. Seems like we're kind of seeing glimmers of that again.
Yeah, and to look at this pistol round, they just had 4 people in water just pop flash with the sky flash and run out, and I think that was setting the precedent of how they wanted to play the defensive side entirely. We saw a lot of 4-man fights coming out of Cloud9 at C, at A, and they were just moving around as a pack, leaving either the Killjoy or the Viper as the anchor on the opposite side, so he can try to stall and deny the choke, while the other team just either pushes through or has a big team fight and rotates out. I think it was a really good game plan coming out of Cloud9 and from MCE to just have those big team fights together, knowing that Leviatán loves to pack in their defaults as well. They're not a team that loves to spread out like 2-3. They do a lot of 4-1s with King on the opposite, so they're trying to either kill King or find the pack and just bring the fight to them. Great team play from Cloud9.
And that's one of the reasons I really like watching this team, because a lot of the time the game plan is really simple. Go for, honestly, what people were doing right when Lotus came out. Go for these really brawly forward fights for extremities, and then just play off of that, whether you punish your lurker or find your opponent. But it's the little things on the fly. It's the adaptation. It's the ability to slow down around when they need to that makes Cloud9 good, and that was missing, I think, in their last match.
Yeah, well, of course, before we, talk more about it, let's actually do what we always do. We got a little aim lab shoot around for y'all this time. We're going to be following Shy, but it gives us an opportunity, as I always say, to continue this conversation here and see what Leviatán can do to get themselves back into it, because if the game plan, Sean, seems that, I don't want to say transparent, but if it feels like it's that readable, then there definitely needs to be something that gets changed up here for Leviatán.
Well, this game will not be readable for them because they've yet to play Pearl in LCQ, and if you were to ask me, I would say it's probably their strongest map. Their overall approach to it has always been really strong, but I don't think I've seen them on the new version yet.
We haven't.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see how they approach the map. Before, there was a lot of B takes, set plays with Taco, even making it up into like Tower over at that B site many times. So I don't even know what comp they're gonna bust out right now, to be honest. And they have footage on Cloud9. So I think they're in the driver's seat for this particular map.
Yeah, and even before, when they played Pearl a lot, it was kind of just like the B spam meta, where they would just go B a bunch with like a set play here or there towards A. So I think it's going to be really hard for Cloud9 to understand the pacing and how Leviatán wants to approach this map, because they might have more A emphasis if they run like a double initiator. If we see the KO Sova come out, you get A control super easy. The art is also a free space with Sova, so we'll see what Leviatán.
People are still running that Harbor Viper. Cloud9 is one of them, so honestly, they could actually just keep the same comp and kind of just keep going at it, just a different approach.
But it didn't go too well for Cloud9 last time. They lost their defensive half 12-0. But they're starting on the attack here, and this is where they picked up 8 rounds before losing that map, and I felt looked really good. A lot of the things we always talk about with Cloud9, being proactive in the mid round, having a really good job of checking off that checklist of clearing mid control out, and then late round going for these splits that were super punishing to build a bit of a comeback despite the rough start to that map. So I think I'm really looking towards the guy we were just watching the aim lab shoot around, Shy, and what he can do, as it will be that same composition, and it will be him on that Killjoy again to try and stop Cloud9 from having that freedom in the mid-round.
Yeah, so it is the same comp, and I wanted to talk about Cloud9 being proactive, like you said. I think coming out with a huge map 1 win kind of activates those players and keeps them confident going throughout the series to be more open about making these plays. Yo, let's come double push this, let's rotate out here and make a push. Like, people are more vocal when you're winning, and I think we're gonna see a really dominant Cloud9 moving forward because of that first map.
I'm curious what you think the adjustment is gonna be for Leviatán here. They used to go into that B spam meta, like you said. How do you adjust with the changes on Pearl, the changes to Viper since the last time we've seen them here?
I think you need to split B a lot more because it's so easy to stall that choke at long. Or if you're still a really strong team at taking that B long control, popping through that tiny choke isn't actually that hard with the Sky.
The map has changed, but Leviatán, they have a perfect rate on this map. They've won 6 maps in a row. This tends to be their home. Let's see if they can bring this series back.
Yeah, of course, that is the question on all of our minds. Can Leviatán bring this back and tie the series up 1-1? Let's go ahead and send it right back over to your casters, Balla and Doug. Have fun, boys.
You know, I wasn't going to, but since he said, the least we can do is, I suppose, we'll try to have some fun. Yeah, it actually should be a really good time. We talked about the map changes and how Leviatán have not played on this new map, even in the face of the dominance that they showed in it historically.
Yeah, 8-0 in their lifetime. Like, it's a undefeated map for them. Yeah. So it's somewhere where I think people were scratching their heads and wondering, why aren't they just picking this outright in some of these series? And, well, we'll see how it actually turns out here because Cloud9 have so much footage. We heard the devs talk about how much they've already played this map, and Leviatán, you really didn't know whether they were going to change comps. You didn't really know much about what was going to come out here. So Cloud9 came in with the dark, but I think they're super happy about the fact that it's the same comp, so we can just kind of make little adjustments based off of how the map has changed as well.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about crazy things like toggle on chamber, for example. How would you navigate around it? Different things like that. There aren't any wrinkles. They can approach this the way that they would like to, and we'll see how things play out. Cloud9 on the attacking side, up 1-0 in this best of 5. Grand finals up for grabs as crew waits and watches.
I'm really curious now. We saw Raze v Raze on Lotus between Leaf and Taco. Now these two players are on Jet.
And they're trampling down towards B. There is some Killjoy utility here. The first nano has already been popped. They have the turret up top too.
And you can see this swap as well on this defensive Viper wall over towards A rather than this little spot right here so they could use the orb instead, but it gives a way for Cloud9 to get in there. Oh.
He dashed right into him, slammed into Shy, and he cleans him up with the ghost. His pistols going all in favor of Leviatán.
B.
And immediately, I'm thinking that dash was not planned whatsoever from Leaf there. He needed a way to get through that Viper wall before it actually went down to maybe catch him by surprise, but you're dashing into a corner. That is very, very commonly played.
And the interesting thing is he procced that dash well before he cleared both walls that he crossed. He crossed the Harbor wall, he crossed the Viper wall, and he had set that up beforehand, and it seemed like he was trying to go, how much further can I get before having to invest it?
I think Leviatán needs to be scared, though. The fact that they're disrespecting that defensive orb already.
Sure, yeah.
Is something that I don't like to see as a defender. I mean, obviously you can take huge advantage of it, but you want to be able to take liberties away from that. And they are relying on this setup, right? This Viper wall across A main, Art, and B Link as well allows them to just use an orb on this spot instead. That's how this map changes. Affects this, and King, that shoulder peek, there was a timing there that he missed the player crossing, so he almost got punished for it.
Does take a little bit of damage. No armor, 86 HP. He's going to get healed back up.
Big question right now. Yes, Taco is taking a lot of space, but look at the alarm bot placement by Shy.
It's so deep.
Why are there players playing in front of this in sewers right now? Eventually, you can fall off of it. As time ticks.
Nice little horseshoe setup.
Walled off his team in Art, though.
Yeah, the utility's still on the other side of it. And now you see Nosworth showing up. Does have a flash. They can pop through this if they want to take the fight, or they just spam and clean things up anyway.
I'm curious if they left gaps on purpose there for Leaf to try to find shots through, and they will get the spike anyways.
Oh, dealt some damage there. That was a ding. Shy with 20 HP, but Leaf is left alone. It's a great start from Leviatán.
That's a very clean round. Well, once again, I mean, 2 flawless rounds in a row, right? Pistol.
Yeah.
No kills found from Cloud9. Here again. And you're starting to see the same sort of approach that Cloud9 had on that attack side, Lotus as well, where they would throw out their wall and then they would walk on the site slowly. I think in this case, walling off the players aren't there. I don't think that was intended by Celsius, and that might have slowed things down. But if it is part of the game plan, eventually you need to start being able to seize that moment and be able to push out through your wall and punish players who are trying to spam like Shy.
It's the same setup from the previous round defensively from Leviatán. They've got the wall, but they have the deep alarm bot, and they're playing in front of it.
I noticed Leviatán playing multi-stage setups on defense, on split in particular. In mid, they rely on that orb for so long. I'm thinking about a different map right now. Hold on, Taco.
Oh, clean shot. Ooh, almost lands the second.
But even moments like that where you find a first kill, that allows you to fall into the deeper protocols and fall behind that alarm bot now in middle. So you hold on to it, and it's there in case. Now we're watching all the Leviatán players rotate over to help Taco as he spotted an extra player. Cascade even coming to reinforce as that orb comes down.
And the Trailblazer, yeah, they've invested a lot, and a flash.
And that flash is maybe eventually misinformation, but with that Trailblazer, it should still give them enough to guess that there's nobody. Seriously considering pushing up B. And the jiggles just came through as the wall came down there from Jake, so you got a lot of information. That's why the rotate's coming in right now. Ball is not broken here.
No.
30 seconds, that's going to be able to deny it for quite a while.
You're starting to see it. The clock's ticking away. 5 seconds have passed. Now, I mean, just really over 20 seconds left before they even get to the point where they tap the spike and threaten it. Zeppa trying to cause problems from backside, but that's another round for Leviatán.
And they flipped it completely. Think about how Lotus went. It was multiple rounds just like this for Cloud9. They convert the bonus and they go on a streak. Leviatán doing the exact same thing here on this defense side. And I know this is, I'm not even considering it, but in my head, I'm thinking, my goodness, they almost got 13-0'd on this map.
Now,
and it's looking rough so far.
Very early, opposite sides as well, but you're right. That is something to consider. King is at 8-0. Remember how much we highlighted him in the previous map with the outrageous series he had last time we saw him.
Taco's been farming in these first engagements, almost gets another one. Only one kill so far, but it was crucial in that last bonus.
And you know the crazy thing is we'll talk about Taco a little bit more as Cloud9 are trying to make a play around the Reckoning, but it's a 1-for-1 again. The Stinger's proving to be worthy.
Leviatán need to control here. This is an eco round for Cloud9. There's no business winning this, and they've already given up a gun. Maybe two.
Yeah, 2 rifles in the hands of Cloud9 here, and Leaf and Celsius. And the spike planted. This is a difficult spot for Leviatán to punch back from. They do have plenty of money, though. They can navigate this. Leaf flash, no armor. Oh, but that second flash is pretty shy still. What?
And this is an odd situation now. The spike is not planted for these Cloud9 players.
Yeah, but this is taking too much time. So much time has elapsed. King a 1-for-1. Celsius weak. Is Shy gonna find a window up here? Is he gonna find the gap? Oh, he is!
One enemy remaining. Oh, it doesn't check it.
No, and I thought for a moment he saw it. Maybe he thought it was the barrel of the turret or something.
Absolutely, when he first peeked over that wall. And they do finally respond with an eco round. Win.
It's always the unexpected ones. Take a look at it one more time. You mentioned Taco and how good he's been in those openers, found some value, but the Stingers here in these up-close and personal situations were too much. Yeah, wow. What a play by Celsius.
And consider the fact that this is Pearl, right? This is Pearl, the map where it's super long range. You really don't expect Stingers to be able to get value that consistently, but Cloud9 finds it every time.
Oh, interesting here approach from Cloud9. They've been putting the turret right outside of spawn, but they repositioned it because they've been getting cleared out and then covered by the Cascade from Harbor. So they repositioned it. Now they have that for a little bit longer.
Firing up the orbs as well. Here's Zeppa as his Seekers. And the important part here is he has multiple layers now too. He still has a Trailblazer. Curious whether they go down B-Long or just through B-Link. And they're going to find Taco with his op right now. Oh. You're trying to have Mazzino there break the Trailblazer for him so that he could still get an op shot if they do decide to follow it up. Instead now, Zeppa falls down long to use his Seekers to try to take this engagement.
Interesting. Oh my goodness. What a bold challenge. But King from backside still finding value. Mazzino's not finding the same as Zeppa's just cracked the site wide open.
Given the fact that Leviatán had lockdown here, I'm surprised to see them commit so many forces to holding on to the site here.
It's interesting, too, to see Cloud9 having the bravado to challenge this, knowing that they had just seen Taco at double doors. They knew he was going to be close by. And they take the fight to Leviatán.
And look, Nasr was all the way back in spawn here. He's going to rejoin the fight now that they've given up 2 kills. This is very doable.
But is it planned for them? Shy was the one who had a shot, who had a position of it. Nasr dancing around the pillar. He's gotten it down to a 1v1. But he's got to push Rooney, and he's got to do it fast. He's got to do it now. There's just not enough time.
There's an op somewhere here.
Yeah, he's looking for it.
There he gets it. We'll give up the round, but pick up at least an op. And Taco can probably drop next round, so this might put Leviatán in a position where they end up forcing, despite not having great economy. Taco can drop one. Nasr can still buy up.
That fight is just so bold from Leaf. I mean, the approach for Cloud9 is too, but for Leaf to be the one to just alpha Taco in that situation.
It's interesting to see him have 2 faces in a sense, right? You remember back on Pistol where he's diving into that smoke very strangely. And then here he gets that shot. It's nasty. Hold on. Updraft. Not going to find anything. It's completely irrelevant here when there's no op posted up on top of the box and nobody peeking art either. But then you see him in that last round, he dashed top screens and completely isolated himself for a fight against Shy when he's not ready to actually take that engagement.
The duality of Leaf. He's got blades here too. Nothing found on the opening engagement that you mentioned, but there certainly is a shot at it here. King is playing down B long.
And an update on the economy situation, by the way. Leviatán did not end up forcing. They just light bot.
But that light buy has some weight behind it.
Absolutely does.
A little bit of presence mid from Cloud9. Seems like they're going to split out onto A.
I suggest you move.
Reckoning there. And Taco has to give the space up. He was up first with the op. He stays and lands a shot on the Leaf. Right between his eyes.
This guy is so confident all of a sudden in LCQ. All 3 kills he has his first engagements.
Hey, where was this? Sideshow asked us in the previous time that we saw them, where was this confidence? Where was this play? He's got heat-seeking bullets.
My world.
This guy's probably gonna find another in the pit. You talk about confidence and aggression, look at how he's digging his heels. Of course, Dax just back as I say that.
deep field
Mazzino's gonna get it. Oh, Rudy stopped it!
Player standing.
And Shy's low HP. Out of the decay.
It was to half, though. It was to half! Shy snaps! What a shot!
Cloud9. What has happened there? Taco with some incredible shots. Yes, the situation was not favoring them once these 2 shots come in from Taco, but they have the pit. And the kills come in from Rooney too. Once this happens, once he gets 3 right there, you think he's getting everything.
Oh yeah, you would think the round is over.
Yep. And Shy continues to be a rock too.
See him waving across the stage? Cold-blooded. Up 2
Taco
rounds.
again through the cascade. He is farming. He's been so strong in these moments all of a sudden.
You know, the interesting thing is, too, is it wasn't primarily him. In the previous series, yeah, he was more confident and more loose, but it was Mazzino and King who got them across the finish line. But now it seems like Taco has awoken.
Oh, Shy almost goes down there to the span. But again, Cloud9 never wanted to hit this site. They call a pivot again.
They're about to find the alarm bot that's been there every round.
I think he's just going to sit in sewers right now, wait for somebody else, maybe find a flank through Art as this B hit comes in. Wait for him to become active.
You saw a ping on the minimap. I wonder if he hears it with how close he is.
Got to be able to. Yeah, otherwise he might have committed already through it.
Yeah, he's going to find the timing. Not able to land the shot on the second. It seemed messy for a moment as Mizzino struggled to steady the crosshair. Leaf on the swing. On the kill of the king. Woo.
Seekers pop too. These situations have not been really great for Cloud9 so far. They've been great on Lotus. But here Leviatán has quite often been able to bring this back.
Player standing.
Celsius with a great response there. Leviatán had a window, but the numbers that Cloud9 had were just too much.
Jake on these flanks, on these lurks, has been really good so far in this series. If he's not at least getting a kill, he's providing so much pressure and safety for his players to play either a little bit more aggressive or based off of the information to play a little bit more passive.
Right.
And that resets Leviatán. I mean, every single time you see these one of the situations, Leviatán back down to Eco.
But another bold play from Leviatán early on to take some space, get the orb in the hands of Nazwar. I didn't make it back up.
Cheeky from him, though.
Yeah.
To try to make it sound like he drops down. Instead floats back on top of the box. Could have been cool.
You should be finding out just about now that this is where the hit's ending up. Shy should have been spotted, I believe. Yeah, they know where he is. He's done.
Yeah, that Trailblazer goes so deep.
I'm down.
And the Spike King getting one. Lockdown will keep everybody back.
Taco Souls Blades.
Team Flash.
Think about how good he's been. He's gonna have to be better. Oh, he ran right at him! Still cleans him up. How is this a 2v2?
And they've isolated the fight here against Zeppa.
And they have Seekers. They know where he is. They're gonna drop down on him. They're gonna surround him. They're gonna overwhelm him. And they're gonna drop him. Rooney left in the 1v2.
One molly for him. Just popped.
Full health, full armor, and a rifle, but none of the bullets are landing. They've all gone far left. He's gotten it to half, and he only has 3 bullets left. He's gonna have to get them all like this, too. Oh,
no more
but
bullets.
no more bullets. He's gonna switch to the classic, but he's so weak. Nazwar, 12 HP. I don't think he can do this. I don't think he has it in him, but Rooney does. The Red Bull clutch to tie us at 4.
With 3 bullets. 3 bullets for Cloud9's IGL, and they put him in a situation like this earlier. Not quite the same result, but here, I mean, you could tell that nerf coming in huge right there. It's specifically for moments like this against a Cove to give it a little bit more value, and it does force down maybe the situations the devs intended.
Thank you, devs. That was much more exciting that way. Op rattles off from Taco. So they find some of the presence of it. And once again, he's in a position where he can re-establish his presence, and they push into it. They almost drop him. Leaf is already so far up. He's playing on the other side of the cloud. The flash for him to swing out, and the Reckoning, excuse me, to provide problems. That gun barrel's gonna go first. Oh, dear. Yeah, I'd be confused too, Leaf.
I've seen rounds like this from Leaf before.
Oh, he's still alive! Mazzino finally puts an end to his antics.
These rounds are pure chaos.
Wouldn't have it any other way. Mazzino having to push forward because of the utility right into the lap of Celsius, right into a 1-round lead for Cloud9.
A 4-2 start from Leviatán. And multiple times they get in these situations at Cloud9 are light buying or ecoing and still winning. And by the way, Celsius has gotten 3 Reckonings already. 3 Reckonings. And you can tell the pace that he's able to play at with the rest of the team after that. And Leaf is just absolutely happy and hungry to get into it. I mean, we're looking at classic Pearl being played right now on this attack. Leaf's actually spent his dash already.
And Cloud9 was a bit more concerned with I think the presence of Taco. That cascade was much more shallow than you normally see. Leaf going up top, finding some space behind the wall, 19 HP, but he stands boldly in the face of the spam. Unfazed by the threat, unfazed by the damage. King only able to take one Taco on the swing, gets another, and the Stingers once again causing problems. It was previously Cloud9's that secured a round. This time it seems like it's Leviatán's. A thrifty round win to tie us at 5.
I think everybody right now watching this game thinking, my goodness, the Stingers are back.
Oh, don't say that.
We thought, no, and I'm watching it and I'm 100% convinced right now. Leviatán, every single time they buy up like that, they're getting really close rounds. That Rooney clutch, that was a Stinger round from Leviatán. Remember, King got isolated by himself, just took down 1 kill. Yeah. I thought it's like, okay, yeah, sure. But then again here, it's just back and forth for these guys. Cloud9 earlier with a Stinger round of their own.
Look at that pit.
Covers up so much. Not only art, but also double doors.
It's a wonky shape. It even provides room for them to creep out if they want to challenge mid. Plenty of pockets to play around.
And also completely denies that lurk from Jake that I commended earlier, but Leaf gets in position to flank the pit.
And this is what I mean, that pocket where Jake's right is where he could be right now.
Oh no! The worst position to follow up from Leaf. Is that a...
Spike planted.
He's pushing into it. Jake is going into the pit. King drops it. There's the swing. He cleans him up. Numbers Cloud9. Jake weak though.
Really felt the pressure there. That's why he drops the pit. He thinks they're coming back through art right now.
Up in the hands of Taco. Shy on the swing, cleans up Rooney.
Oh, this lockdown will push him so far out, and there's no way to break this right now.
It's late in the
he broke
No way!
It's just in the open. They don't expect Rooney. They still got this though, 3v1.
Leviatán still managed to stabilize. Celsius would have to pull off an insane moment, and he cannot.
That lockdown is so ridiculously exposed there from Rooney, but it would force them so far back in art. I didn't even realize Rooney was still playing in that position. It felt like everybody collapsed on art there. And Leviatán thought the exact same thing, but thankfully they're still able, like you said, to stabilize in that situation. This is
that's unlucky.
He's following up on the secret right there. He's about to spam on his own, and he gets spammed first.
Well, that gets us to the last round of the half. You see the op has been dropped back for Shy, while Taco has one of his own. So they're going to have a double op set up here.
Taco is definitely on top of that box. This double up draft, he's not looking forward.
That way, yeah, he's been peeking towards art and he spots King.
Oh my goodness. I do have to point out as well, Celsius right now with his 4th reckoning of the half online. He's been farming up these orbs like crazy.
And it's provided value. It's been very successful. I love this high tide. It provides so much pressure towards B and towards art. Remember, there's still a double op setup from Leviatán. There's the reckoning that you were just calling for. They're going to push right past them. Mazino's on the other side. Only gets one. Nas were not able to follow up on it. Looking out for up Taco is. He's right next to him. They're going to pass right by each other. And Jake, aware, cleans him up. The other op has been dropped too. Shy opting for the Vandal. Look at the buy for 2 members on Cloud9. They've got 2 Spectres. But they've managed to get this far. Leaf and Rooney both taking serious damage off of spam. 15 HP between the both of them.
There's been multiple moments here where a kill just escaped Shy. Leaf has picked up the op, by the way, down long too.
He can play this from pretty far back.
He's also giving up support for his teammates. There's a pocket
behind the wall, but they know they're aware. Shy tried cleaning him up. Jake's got 3. He's got the pit.
Whoa, whoa.
Can he play around it? He's going in aggressive with the Seekers, and Jake gets 4.
What is that? I'm thinking that pit's not even covering what is going on. Instead, he predicts the Seekers coming out and gets the decay off on Nasr as he comes through. Would love to see the HP of Nasr before that situation occurred.
One
Look at
enemy
this.
remaining.
The Seekers and Pit popped instantly. And it's just random spray.
And the random spray works. Jake with a monster play. Sean is standing by at the telestrator to break down a play. Sean, take it away.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Doug. So right now I have the bonus pulled up. This is the round Leviatán won, and they kept winning these buys where they had such inferior guns to Cloud9, and I'm gonna show you how they did it. So right at the start of the round, you can see in mid, we're gonna have the Cascade come from Link right here. It's gonna block off top mid. They throw a Sky Flash. The Viper swings out, so that way she can break the turret. That puts tons of pressure on mid. That makes Cloud9 feel like, okay, B is the safe play now. So they group up, they go out B. Taco's in this great spot where he can get a first engagement with a Guardian. Dashes away. And right away, you can see Mizzino is starting a high tide that cuts across all of A site and mid. And in addition to that, they have a Viper wall. Instead of the old B Viper wall, they're now using the orb to block off B because the distance has been reduced. So you can see their util right now is fully in play. They start grouping up into the B site. And this is where Nosworth sends a flash out long. That's gonna get info that the rotate is leaving the B site right here. And you can see them shift. King is moving towards spawn. Nosworth's gonna group up, and the stack is already coming towards this A site. They have that deep alarm bot that Doug and Balla both pointed out for these late round rotations. And Cloud9 unknowingly now is going right into the teeth of Leviatán. But the point is that there was several moments in this round where Cloud9 could have made terrible decisions. And I feel like Leviatán had great rotates throughout this entire half. And this round really shows why. I think right now Cloud9 is gonna have to exercise a lot of those demons against Crew if they're gonna look to win this game, because Leviatán do look very well prepped here. Back to you guys, Doug and Balla.
Thank you so much, Sean. Always good to hear from him. Yeah, just a couple of moments away from starting off the second half. Tied at 6 apiece, a far cry from the last time we saw Cloud9 play this map. And we even talked about it, right? It's like, oh no, this feels very familiar. But they managed to stabilize and keep it competitive. It's been a wild first half between these two.
Yeah, it was that bonus that really at first made me question whether this map is a good place to play for Cloud9. But do appreciate telestrator from Coach Sean. And now the situations have flipped. Look at Cloud9 getting aggressive here, using this turret to at least communicate the timing of whether they need to fall off or even overcommit to this A push. And Leviatán's doing something interesting. Trailblazing up through and taking B-Link from the backside.
Yeah, this is really nice too, because they don't, if they commit to B, the space that Cloud9 have taken in A main, it is worth nothing.
Yeah. And they've actually inserted 2 players now inside of sewers. You got Mizzino up here, and then Taco as well, all the way back down B-Link. And they're gonna be able to regroup. Cloud9 at the same time, they use that Trailblazer all the way through A, and they're pushing into Art, so this flank could come onto top of Shy immediately here.
He might be the one flanking with given Cloud9's pathing. And I like this from Leviatán. I like how they've approached this, but have they overdone it?
I mean, right now their positions look like phenomenal post-plant positions.
No, Shy as a ghost.
He's avoided the turret too. He's gonna be able to get behind that. There's no way they're gonna expect this as they come through all the positions that they feel like they've been in.
As is the case with VALORANT, timing is everything. The turret was just recalled too, but it's a deeper alarm bot towards Link, so now Cloud9 can focus on taking the site back, and that's exactly what they've done. Just one left on the site, and it's King. See him dancing around, trying to stay alive. As Shy has to get pacey. He's got to push forward. He's got to find the timing. And he finds one, looking for the second. It's slow, it's cautious. It's another round for Cloud9.
And it's a different story than what we saw on Lotus, where we split pistols here on Pearl instead of going for a full sweep. Which makes this game a much more competitive. It's so interesting to see these teams inject this difference in approach where it's not full XX all the time. It's just slow walking with your controller util already going up. It's really putting question marks on the side of the defense. Leviatán, you're right though, that pistol really overdone. Not necessarily to net them a disadvantage or anything like that, but
they're gonna do it again. They've taken A main, but this time they drop Leaf.
Is that through the wall? No, the wall was down. They have a one-way here. But Jake's in a lot of pressure. If they were coming as well down B long right now, he would have nothing to play with.
Trailblazer to reestablish position for Rooney to fill behind it.
And note as well, they went for the same type of buy that they went for on Lotus, where everybody's buying up a Sheriff here. It did not work at all on Lotus. Here, they've already got the advantage.
There's really nothing from Cloud9 here to get some early info
Placing swarm
on what's going on.
It's full dry here. They're going to walk right into Rooney. He has to be ready.
Presence spotted. You see the controller utility go up. It's up on the swing from back in secret. Finding some more space for Leviatán. Make their way through.
30 seconds
Haven't
left.
committed to the spike though. There's just so much delay from Cloud9.
Yeah, that high tide as well coming in from Zelsis. Cascade to block off Church gives so much room here for Zeppa to get up on top, but actually nets a kill for Shy instead, and they're going for a plant.
They've succeeded. Taco has a Marshal and a Sheriff. See both of them playing here. Zeppa understanding that there's got to be a swing if they want to clean up. That's what they do. 2 Sheriffs left for Leviatán. Spike planted. Time is now on their side.
Player standing.
But Shy is not. Nosler gonna have to do this by himself. He's gotten it down to 1. It's on Jake to swing. Nosler just gets a little antsy and swings out. Ever the showman is the Big Bean as he secures the round for Cloud9.
Gotta be careful here, man. This is the half you got 12 to hold on. I'm not gonna lie. I love it from him, though. And in this situation, I think Lev came out with a pretty big win here.
Player standing.
Remember on Lotus, I said they must plant in this situation where they're buying up the Sheriffs. This time they get the plant down, and they also get infinite damage done. The thing is with Cloud9's anti-ecos, they're constantly buying Stingers. They're constantly not fully investing into it. And it nets them the opportunity to do a buy like this, where they actually won the round, but they're kind of saving. Still, it's a save that packs a punch. 2 Guardians, Frenzy, Sheriff, Stinger for Zelsis.
There's one of the Guardians finding a kill, and there's the other.
This aggro in mid. Leviatán tried to disrespect it because they left a spot open in shop, and it gets absolutely punished for that, for taking that space against them. Sean broke down literally at halftime around that Leviatán was doing similar things.
I've got your
Slightly missed flash there from Zeppa, a little too deep.
Well handled by Taco too to play around it and peek on the other side. It's a really good angle here. Oof, I thought he was gonna get another. There's the deep flash. That one connecting.
Last player
A
standing.
1v2 for Nosler. Remember, we saw him in a position like this a few moments ago. It's against Big Bean. This time Zelsis and Leaf on the other side.
Might be able to dive this cove.
He's gotten ahead of it. He's gotten ahead of it, but the timing from Zelsis is beautiful.
Not only the timing there, but as well this cove to be literally right on the edge of where the spike defuse is happening. So he positions himself between the edge of that cove and the spike, so he's able to instantly pop out of it after he gets half. It's a perfect trade. Taco's taking those shots off of the timing of the flash popping. He's not really even thinking about what's on his screen. He's just shooting as the 200 milliseconds goes off after to allow for the peak to come in, and that's how he's getting kills like that. It's crazy.
What do you think Zelsis was saying there? That felt like none of that. Calm down. Don't do any of that. As we see a timeout called from the Leviatán side.
Yeah, I'm curious what Leaf was communicating in that instance, you know? Just saying, peek, trade, come on, man. And Zelsis like, nah, dude, I got you. Don't worry about it. I think it's really important to monitor the body language of the Cloud9 guys, actually.
Yeah, I agree.
And here in the lead, it's not the biggest scare or anything like that. If there was a situation where I'm like, what's going on over there? But that's the sort of thing you saw in that crew game, right? Demotivated players, questioning what's going on. Zelsis not being that emotional leader that he's really turned into being.
He is, I mean, really, from the beginning of Valorant up until now, has just matured so much. Has become the emotional leader for his squad. You're absolutely right. And it's interesting to see both sides of it, too, right? He can be very much like the full charge forward. He can be the stabilizing, calm presence. He's so pivotal to the emotional makeup of this squad.
If Cloud9 want to break through the struggles they've been having when it comes down to playoff stages, granted, we've only seen one from them, but we've already seen them struggle again here in LCQ. It needs to be because of players like that consistently keeping a level head and getting everybody super involved. Again, the same pistol where they're able to insert players deep into sewers has been netting LEV some success. But it's also something that Cloud9 is going to start responding to a little bit here. But I do like it as a way to really trap any player down and B-Link. The passiveness, though, of the Cloud9 players. And Spawn, Rooney almost gets punished.
Yeah, but I mean, he dealt a considerable punch back. Taco has to get healed up.
There's big response tools here from the Cloud9 side. As Elsis pops that high tide, we look to his reckoning as well. And wonder, Rooney, whether it'd be optimal to be falling off of site here to play a full retake instead. This Cloud9 player is playing in positions where he's going to get this ult off with that reckoning as well at 30 seconds right now. That puts a scramble on the left side to run down towards this B side.
And with that, Zelsis is running his way to join them. He's going to get ahead of the utility too. Oh, I thought for a moment he was going to find a window. Mazzino's been cut off.
Look at Rooney's position. He's full flash though. Taco.
They've got to execute on this. That's a big kill out from Taco, and he's not able to find much more. Zelsis runs the trap. With 5 seconds left, yeah, there's no way through.
Shy's on the complete opposite side of the map. Leviatán out of the timeout. They go right back to the grass.
Everyone note down
exactly what they were doing at the beginning.
Let's run it again.
Straight up through B-Link, getting somebody inserted in sewers, and they wait out the time. These are sort of things that I was actually noticing that they're not doing as much, right? Falling back onto the same ideas. I think there in that timeout, you might be getting a little bit of that old Leviatán creeping up, where it's like, this should work. We have plenty of opportunities to make it happen.
Yeah, ram your head against wall type beat. He's been a spark this series for Leviatán. He's gonna have to do it again. Taco with blades, the first to go. Tries to go fast after clearing the alarm, but there's no challenge. And they're gonna scale up around it. So this insertion of players mid.
Just from the other side.
Yeah. I mean, they're meticulous.
And they do get in position here now on Art, where they should be able to execute really strongly on the Cloud9 side. And they don't have those tools, again, to deny this entirely like they did last time. But what they do have is a lot of space by Leaf, deep up Belong, and we've been completely ignoring this space if you're Leviatán.
Destroyed.
Seekers invested from back in spawn.
That misdirection there from Taco is neutered because of those Seekers. And it's following up from the backside. Somebody's got to break that for him, otherwise he's getting nearsighted as this goes through.
Meanwhile, King dies. Finding 2! And he's got more to go. Still 3 blades left in his back pocket. Zeppa decapitated, courtesy of Nosworth. Taco's still alive and healthy. Leaf is going to be making a cautious approach towards A main. Somehow you clean up Taco, you still have Shy waiting around.
Double peek coming in.
That tandem is pretty, and it cleans him up. The job is done. Rooney's left alone in this 1v3. He's got a turret and he's healthy. Time is not on his side yet again. Decides to go for Shy first. Not even able to clean him up.
We talked about Taco being a spark. There it is. With the knives just floating through on that A side. That flick is this first shot. I'm like, oh, it's whiffing a little bit, and then the flick on the Jake is just crazy.
And you know, I'll be the first to admit, seeing him in his last series, I thought, okay, he's warming up. Maybe this is more the Taco that we were used to, or the Taco that we were expecting. But I didn't fully believe that he was back. But the performance that he's put up this series, I mean, it's eliminating all doubt.
For somebody who was slumping in the regular season,
Toxins going up.
you start to remember old Taco and how dominant he could be. And I think, there we go. I was just mentioning how they were ignoring this space, and I'm not even sure how they recognized that Leaf had taken that last round, but King gets right back into a regular 1-3-1 default here and destroys him.
Cheeky little high-low.
This is great. I mean, Cloud9 is a team that once they lose the advantage, they immediately try to strike back. I mean, you could see it right now happening. The 3 players grouping up inside of B-Link right now to maybe go for a push.
Osborne's going to be the first. Where's the turn? They've got a high-low on the other side, too. Look at how well considered this is from Leviatán. And they just put a high tide up towards B.
It doesn't net them a kill, though, and this clock is ticking. Down to 40 seconds. Not the same tools. They're going to invest the Reckoning as the alarm bot breaks.
Jake's in trouble here. He's going to get pushed into A main, and Shy's on the other side of that. When does he go?
I mean, if he wins this fight, though.
Yeah, he's got so much control and so much pressure, but he turned at the wrong time! Just a millisecond away!
That's such great timing from Shy there. Waiting for that spike tap to go in. And as well, the Nosware flash. He doesn't use either of those, though. And he peeks off of that spike tap right as Jake's attention gets drawn elsewhere. As the calls are being made from Cloud9. Spike's being planted on A.
Turn out.
That one hurts for him. But again, such a good timing from Shy.
It seems like Leviatán are keen to go hunting too. They have 2 members trampling down long, 2 members going down through spawn too. Or Link, excuse me. They want to get the guns out of the hands of the members of Cloud9, and for good reason. There's an op, and you see it on the HUD. The other 2 don't have much money.
Solstice does keep the op, but the rest of Cloud9 is down to scraps. 2.1K.
Yeah, dude,
Second round in a row lost.
You called that engagement in the previous round, and that was Leaf with an op.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice that they're able to recover that.
Really the only silver lining.
Yeah. Timeout from Cloud9, and that's only their first.
Yeah, I was gonna say first of the series.
Yeah.
If my memory serves me right. MCE didn't call a single one in the first map. Mind you, they did win it, but he never felt like there was a need for him to interject on his own timing of his own volition.
Right, and that's a fantastic sign if you're a Cloud9 fan, because he was incredibly upset. In the pre-show, they brought up some quotes from him from some of the interviews that he gave after their match against Crew. I've never heard him more angry. I've never heard a coach in Valorant be more angry about a situation. Every single time the interviewer, Brandon, tried to steer it in a positive direction.
Nope.
He literally was like, no, these guys, I mean, didn't do a single thing we talked about. They're choking, What's going on? I've never heard that out of a coach in Valorant. So the fact that he's only getting involved one time is a fantastic sign. Not because, you know, I'm not saying he shouldn't do that at all. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying there's no call for him to find his way to insert himself there. It seems like a lot more stable, calm. But they are in a position right now. They have the lead. It's only down to 2, though, here. Leviatán struggled to open this half. But they're definitely bringing it back now.
Blades for Leaf, and that orb control should net King his ult if they want to go that way. No, they're just going to bypass it entirely. They're going to continue to take A.
And this is the fastest round we've seen so far. Oh,
what is the approach here? I thought Leaf was going to get a second. King does have his pit online now after the kill.
Ducking back, 20 HP.
44 now. Dancing around, the spike is out of reach, just not in anyone's hand. Nosware, what a play! Boldly swinging out and establishing control for Leviatán.
Planted.
What the heck does Rooney do here? The op in hand as he creeps forward. Does he dare try to make a play here?
It is planted for them, right? They're lined up right now. Yeah, that's tough. He's trying to clear default at the same time as He's walking into the angle, which they've set themselves up for perfectly there.
Yeah.
That's now 3 in a row. Leviatán there, that was a scary situation. Once Leaf got going with those knives, I thought, oh no.
Careful here.
They're gonna get eco'd.
That sucks.
And it's down to 1 here. Both teams with 1 remaining timeout as we get closer and closer. Leaf is still able to buy an op. That's why Rooney was definitely going for a couple kills there. And he does get his lockdown there too, so he needed to die. Leaf with an possibility of an early pick.
And it's just no one to help clear the Trailblazer for him. So he tries to play around the timing, and he's dashed right back onto.
He came back up to try to help Zeppa, but that almost got him killed. And so much space taken right now. They've got this combination here. Lockdown with the pit. Could be beautiful, but look at the position of Zelsis right now inside of A main. He's definitely somebody who you're looking at to pinch on the pit when it comes into it. Oh, the unscope. He doesn't have dash here. And he gets detained for it.
But there's help coming. You see the flash is already out from Zeppa, and they've swarming around him. Zelsis gets the first, and they want to take the fight in, but Cloud9 are glad to take it. In the face of the Seekers, more space is found. Another round for Cloud9.
And the funny part there is that detainment that happened inside of Secret over here actually gets completely helped by the rest of the Cloud9 players. They flood in to help him because that lockdown is not taking that much space. And on top of that, Leviatán overcommit to trying to kill the 1 player. Yes, it's Leaf. But you think if that detainment is not there, they're just putting a regular plant out, they're getting the pit down. And despite Shy losing his fight, they still got to find ways back into it. Leviatán forced that situation way too hard. And it is going to be cause for concern for Owner.
And you imagine that's what he's saying right now. There's no need to go for that. Not the way that you guys did.
Even still, I mean, with the remaining rounds left, you can't dwell on these situations. It's with only 3 rounds of regulation still, with 2 rounds for Cloud9 to make it a second map win immediately here in this best of 5. You've got to think about the last 3 rounds now.
And for MC, another opportunity to talk to his team. And much like the conversation we were having earlier, there's a lot to be happy about. But the job is far from done. 2 rounds away from taking a commanding lead in the lower final. Op in the hands of the Star yet again. Zelsis has, probably his 20th reckoning at this point in the map. Just seems like every time we look, he's got one.
Yeah, it's slowed down a lot on this defense half, but it's also a lot harder to get orbs on this half.
Yeah.
Turret out.
And there's not the same incentive. There's not the same focus for Leviatán actually on the same orb collection from the Xeno, because they've been focused so much on mid. And that does give opportunities away. Back towards mid, the same reverse pinch down onto Art. Like the little detail there from Taco, jiggling with his jump and then floating back into the angle so he doesn't get completely spammed. And I also noticed Rooney there as well, just holding the lockdown out. Up in B heaven.
So off of that Trailblazer getting cleared out, Cloud9 understand that there is some presence, there is a player inserted.
It's very interesting that he actually uses a Trailblazer there, not to set up Leaf, who is going walkabout in A main here, but instead for Sewers, where he basically just gets confirmation that they've taken that space.
And
Leaf does it anyways, though.
You see the pivot around it. Jake is taking the space. Zeppa had to rotate over towards A to help.
40 seconds. We've seen this before. The lockdown from Rooney. He's set up inside of B heaven to put it down instantly as information comes down, but there's a fake going on. Does Rooney hold strong? Reckoning comes through. They hear him falling back. This round might just end because of Rooney's lockdown. Here he goes. Yeah, alarm bot broken. Instant lockdown. They've got to plant and then get out, but there's really not that much space. They have to do it down B long.
They can't really push them. They can't do anything to clear it out, so they commit to the plant.
They might all get detained. 2 maybe. Three players!
That's got to be the round.
But there's two flankers still. One of those detainments is Taco and B-Link.
Rooney's got to at least get it to half here. He can commit to it the whole way. There's no challenge. I mean, Rooney just made a round-saving play
Listen up.
by himself, all off of the timing of the ult.
But the crazy thing there, Doug, is he was literally holding on that ult from 1 minute 20 seconds of the round.
Yeah.
He just sat there like he was in his Cypher camp, just waiting for contact.
And then also the discipline to not rotate off when the hit was happening towards A. There was a dash up from the Jet. There was a Reckoning too.
Yeah. I mean, thankfully Cloud9 had the tools to actually respond to that hit, that fake pressure, so that Rooney could stay still, but Leviatán kind of walked into the worst case scenario for that situation.
Speaking of Rooney, he's got a Bucky in this round. Cloud9 on map point, Leaf on the swing, the Spike sitting there on the other side of the cascade. Well out of the reach of the remaining members of Leviatán. He's got to swing out. Taco does, gets one, but that's all it is.
Push back too. This is the first time. Look at this flank from Jake.
Yeah, they're getting pinched. Jake's gonna see everything, and he's gonna hit nothing. Belief responds. The Spike is still nowhere in the control of Leviatán.
Oh, but the alarm bot's not covering the space right now, and neither is the turret. He might get a backstab.
I mean, this would still be so far for Leviatán to have to go. But they're leaving.
What's he gonna do? Pit the turret? That wall doesn't give him any space either.
No, it's still gonna see you.
In fact, it does give actually Shy room to peek right there inside of shops. That's why he actually cycles that.
Meanwhile, through all of that, Cloud9 have taken a main. They're gonna wrap all the way around, make sure there's no presence that way. They still know where the Spike is. They still knew where the Spike was. Shy had no idea King's gonna have to 1v3 to keep it alive, and he cannot. A commanding 2-0 lead for Cloud9 as they take Pearl.
A crazy situation in the final round too. Kind of underwhelming in my mind to see Leviatán go right back to the same idea multiple times there on that attack side. And it was given to them. So many opportunities there for Cloud9 to try to do something against it, but it only comes in that final round. It only comes when they need a round to close out the map.
No better time than that, I suppose.
You lull them into a false sense of security all that time. It's reverse conditioning in a sense, where Leviatán's like, yeah, we can do all this for free. They're never challenging us, blah, 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 blah. And then a single flash from Zeppa and a single peek from Leaf ends the game.
Oh, it was another chaotic one at that. So many tense moments. And much like we talked about in the first map, and the problem is, before I say this, the problem is this isn't enough. But Leviatán kept it competitive, right? They kept it close. They showed grit. They showed tenacity. Taco continued to play well, but that's just not going to be enough against this Cloud9 squad.
But despite that, and I think you're right, this is a map that Leviatán should win.
Yep.
Given their record, 8-0 on this map, 6-0 in Americas. It's not one that should be falling like this in a best of 5. And now, they forced themselves into a position where they have to reverse sweep to even have a chance for that VLATAM final.
The benefit is that they're going to be heading towards Split, which is map 3. We've seen how good Leviatán can be on it. King had himself a field day last time we saw him on that map. And Taco, that's where he really showed signs of, whoa, he's back. So maybe that's enough to extend this series. But for now, it seems like it's all Cloud9 all the way. Split, potentially the decider. We'll see if that's the case on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere, friends. We'll be right back. He's already netted himself a second one with the third.
This guy's just farming.
And Leaf delivers.
Genera un fake defuse. Las dos eliminaciones. El clutch para Shy.